All right. Good morning. My name is Jeff Warrock here with the Wakefield weather briefing here on November 25th, talking about the weather for this week. And we'll go ahead and push it all the way through the holiday weekend and probably into early next week, since there are a few things in the weather to talk about, going that far out. So just some of the bullets here. It's going to be a great day today, dry and seasonably warm. There is a weak front moving through basically later tonight and tomorrow on Tuesday. Few widely scattered showers. I'll show you all that. But a much bigger system is coming for Thursday for the holiday. And we're expecting some persistent rainfall on Thursday with a good rainfall accumulation. We need it. We need to keep things wet, but it is coming in for Thursday on the holiday. So going to make for some wet travel. Behind that, we're going to really kind of hit on this cold weather that's coming. We're probably going to see one of the longer periods of, I'd say, winter cold that we've seen here in a while. And once that cold air gets here, it might be around for a while. And so we'll talk about that. On the marine side, with that front on Saturday, there could be a brief period of small craft advisory conditions, but then a stronger wind potential really kicks in as we get into Thursday, and it even goes all the way through Friday and Saturday potentially, especially as that cold air just keeps coming in. It may keep those winds up on the marine. So a little bit to talk about as we look through the weather this week. Just kind of stepping through the weather maps, and I'll pull over the Weather Prediction Center's website here to kind of go through the front. So, yeah, today, here on Monday, the cold front's coming across basically the Ohio River Valley. You got a low pressure system here forming over the Great Lakes, but we're just dominated by, this really warm high pressure that's just to our south, keeping things pretty clear, pretty warm today. So it's been going to be a really, really nice day. As we push into midnight tonight, or about maybe 1 in the morning, that front is pushing into about West Virginia. You don't see a lot of precipitation with it, maybe just a little bit of precipitation with the front, but not a whole lot there. By Tuesday morning, right around 7 a.m., you do notice it's starting to come across the mountains, maybe getting into that northwest Piedmont. And then by tomorrow evening, by 7 p.m., that front really should be pushed offshore, and then kind of high pressure building in behind it. Now, this high pressure, is coming in more from the middle part of the country. This isn't like really cold high pressure coming out of Canada. So the temperatures will still be pretty moderate, even though this cold front is pushing through later tonight and Wednesday morning. By Wednesday morning, you see high pressure really sitting right across us. So another clear day in store for Wednesday. When Thursday comes, we'll just jump all the way to Thursday. In fact, I'll go back to Wednesday. You see the storm system here starting to form here over Texas and Oklahoma. Another one coming here, dropping south here across parts of Missouri and Iowa. And these are going to combine really into a much bigger system here for Thursday. You can kind of almost see multiple low pressure systems here forming around the region. So this is going to make for, honestly, a really messy day on Thursday. So it does look like we're going to see some pretty steady rain really through the entire day, from the morning all the way through parts of the evening. Maybe a little bit, of drying in the northwest Piedmont late in the day, but I think for most of us across central Virginia, southeast Virginia, northeast North Carolina and Maryland, I think Thursday is going to be a pretty wet day, and I'll show you how that might play out. By the time we get into Friday morning, you notice there's just a whole series of fronts. That first front has pushed offshore. And you do notice a much stronger front now coming across parts of Ohio and Indiana. And if you follow these isobars, like these little lines, it's like a highway. And that air is originating from way up north, up in the polar and Arctic regions. So a little bit of a cold front here with the cooler temperatures coming in for Friday. That's what you're seeing here Friday morning. But then if you look, there's another front coming down later on Friday. This is the Friday morning. And when that system gets here through Saturday, it's going to blast right on through. And then by Sunday, you look at these lines where our air is coming from, and it's going to be coming from way up in the parts of the polar and Arctic region. So by Monday, we're just pulling this cold air down. So some really cold air coming. This high pressure is originating from way up in Canada. So this is going to be one of our first big cold outbreaks. But it's just a series of fronts that's going to come through starting Thursday, and then again Friday and Saturday, with the cold air just getting reinforced into the region. So this is how much rainfall we're expecting maybe on Tuesday. It's basically just some passing showers. There's not much with this. I don't think everybody's going to get rain. We'll see. Maybe enough just to get the ground wet as this stuff comes through, Tuesday. Nothing to be too excited about. It's not a big soaker. It just may be a few showers that come with the front. And here I can kind of show you here on the National Blend of Models kind of what that might look like. This is 11 o'clock Monday night. And as we get into Tuesday morning at 5 a.m., the front's kind of starting to come across the mountains. You are noticing that the showers are kind of breaking up here a little bit as they come across the mountains. So maybe just some widely scattered showers. There's 6 a.m., get it to about 7 to 8 a.m., just maybe some scattered showers moving with the front, and it comes through pretty quickly. That's Thursday, 8 a.m., getting into Hampton Roads down here, maybe by about, between 10 and 11 a.m. And then by the time you get into about lunchtime, I mean, this thing, it's offshore. I mean, that's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe a few little lingering showers there over northeast North Carolina. But by 1 o'clock on Tuesday, it's really pushed offshore. So not a lot with this. It's just going to be a quick little passing shower. It's going to move across the region. Now, contrast that to Thursday, and now you're seeing almost a widespread inch of rain. So this is kind of the 7-day total precipitation, but honestly, most of this is coming Thursday. So you're seeing really a widespread, at least a half inch, really more than a half inch, and honestly, probably over an inch in most locations, really across the entire area. So what that's going to look like, going back over here to Desi, and I'll kind of jump on ahead here. Wednesday's dry. So we'll get in here to Thursday. So this is Thursday morning, and we'll do it like 6 a.m. So by 6 a.m. Thursday, you see a lot of the areas now covered in green. We got these low pressure systems forming. There's actually 3 of them. One kind of coming up out of the Carolinas. You get the one coming here from the kind of the southwest, and another one dropping in from the west. So kind of getting to a complicated pattern that is going to get wet. So probably rain just about everywhere by the time we get to 6 a.m. Thursday, when folks may be starting to travel, and the area just stays green. This is getting us into about 11 a.m. On Thursday. Notice even getting into about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, still seeing a lot of rain here across central Virginia. I mean, really everybody's at least in some layer of green, but we're kind of just locked into this pattern. So it's not going to be like a deluge. It's not going to be like heavy rain. It's just probably going to be constantly wet. Just that light, steady rain that's going to last the whole day. And really, maybe we start to see some drying here. This is by about 7 p.m. Thursday. So maybe, north of Richmond, west of Richmond, over the mountains, we start to see a little bit of the rain ending. Maybe sometime late Thursday afternoon after 5 o'clock. This is about 7 o'clock. But you can see most of us, Hampton Roads is still all in the rain, as well as Eastern Shore and northeast North Carolina. So probably going to stay pretty wet. And honestly, you see kind of a reinforcing shot of rain come up there by about midnight Friday. But eventually this whole system will push offshore. This is Friday morning at 11. So could even see some lingering showers. Let's go to about daybreak there on Friday and stop it. This is Friday morning around daybreak, so you can still see a few little showers around the area here, especially southeast Virginia, south central Virginia, Tidewater, North Carolina, even Friday morning as folks are starting to travel. But things do improve on Friday as far as the rain's concerned, and everything gets offshore. I'd say by probably, early afternoon on Friday, we should be over with it. So definitely going to be wet on Thursday. Nothing severe, nothing that's going to be flooding. It's just going to be that steady rain, which we really need. It's just going to be coming here on Thursday. So kind of looking at our temperatures, we did mention that those fronts coming through really warm today, and even tomorrow with that front coming through, still pretty mild. A little bit cooler Wednesday behind that front. And then Thursday, even though we're going to have the rain, we're still probably right around normal, give or take across the area. And then that Arctic front really starts to come in here Friday. And if you look at the low temperatures, Friday night is pretty much widespread in the 30s. But man, when you get into Saturday's low temperatures, we're getting widespread 20s. And it's going to be windy. So there'll be a pretty good wind chill with this as well. This is not wind chill. These are temperatures. So this is what the actual air temperature is going to be, and the wind chills are going to feel a little bit colder than this. And you see Louisa here getting down to 23, and in fact you see 25 and then 21 again by Monday. So some really cold air by the time we get into Monday morning. So this is going to be our first little, I'd say, really good winter snap, and it's not going to come and go. This cold air is going to come, and it's going to stay here for a while. Looking at the rainfall, again, Tuesday with those passing showers won't last too long. Scattered showers, maybe 35, 40% chance of rain, depending on where you are. Not going to rain long. Going to be mainly 6 a.m. to about noon, and then by afternoon it's over. And then here you come on Thursday. I think you're going to have pretty good chances of rain, but by 6 a.m. Thursday, and then obviously through the morning hours and afternoon, really high chances of rainfall, really all day long and lingering until we saw that Friday morning, maybe still some low chances for some lingering showers there Friday morning. And after that, we're actually dry. So with all this cold air coming, it is going to be dry. So that gets us into the 8 to 14-day outlook. Obviously, looking at the weather for next week, much below normal temperatures, really high confidence that we're going to have, really cold temperatures across the entire East Coast for next week, really kicking in on Saturday. And with that Arctic air being dry, obviously we're expecting below normal precipitation as well. So it's going to be a very cold and very, very dry air mass that's going to be coming down. I did kind of want to go back and highlight just kind of this duration of the cold. So what you're seeing here is the hourly forecast temperatures from the National Blend of Models. This is Richmond here. Over here we have Salisbury, and then down here we have Norfolk. And the main thing is noticing, where we are this week, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, pretty warm. But then you see these temperatures just plummet. And you're really seeing a lot of temperatures here. Even in Richmond, the models are trying to paint that we're going to be looking at maybe mid-20s for several nights, maybe even potentially getting into low 20s, especially when you get outside of the city and get north and west of the city. I think you're going to see a lot of low 20s. Same thing really here in Salisbury as well, and even in Norfolk. Maybe getting into the upper 20s along the waterfront. I think as you get away from the water, even in Hampton Roads, I think you're going to see a lot of temperatures in the upper 20s because this is right here taken at Norfolk on the waterfront. I think as you get away from that warmer water, I think you're going to see a lot of 20s down here, even in parts of Hampton Roads. So, it's that time of year. I just kind of want to remind folks, any kind of exposed pipes, any kind of water lines that may be exposed or in unheated areas like boats, RVs, maybe getting out in some of your pump houses, things like that, where you don't have a lot of heat. Just be aware of that. This is the first big cold snap, so it may be time to start looking at winterizing things, that may need to be winterized, or at least having some heat sources in some of our pump houses, things like that, that don't have heat all the time. Because if we start seeing a lot of temperatures in the 20s and let's say highs only in the low 40s, yeah, we definitely could get to a situation where we start, freezing some of those exposed water lines or water lines that are in unheated spaces. So definitely this week is the time to start getting things winterized if you haven't done it already. So shifting gears into the marine side of the house, not expecting too much wind today, maybe a little bit of a later tonight with the front coming through, maybe a little bit of a wind here along the bay, but nothing too significant. More for Tuesday with that front coming down. We might see a brief period of small craft advisory conditions here behind that front on Tuesday as some cooler air comes in. Don't have a lot of confidence in this, but we could see some gusts getting close, let's say about 20 knots or so. Wednesday should be a pretty decent day. And then by the time we get into Thursday and Friday, again, that fresh front comes through Thursday. We have all that rain, expecting some small craft advisory conditions with wind gusts of about 20, 25 knots. And then Friday, it's the same thing, a lot of wind, probably about 20, 25 knots. And then as we push into later in the week, I say for when that front starts coming through, later on, we're going to see even stronger winds. So really, we're going to get into a period of, I'd say, about 26 to 30 knots of wind here on the bay and also on the ocean waters, especially getting from, I say, Thursday evening. Winds are going to decrease a little bit, then pick back up again on Friday, and then again on Saturday as those fronts just keep coming. So once you get to Thursday, I think we're going to see quite a bit of wind on the water and a prolonged period here of small craft advisory conditions. The only good news is that the wind stays kind of west and northwest. So it does keep the seas from building up too big, maybe about 4 to 5 feet, just off the coast. But it's an offshore wind. So that'll at least limit or mitigate how big the seas get, but still a solid 3 feet, maybe even 4 feet temporarily there on the bay with all this wind. So here's kind of your breakdown. Monday here today is not too bad. Southeast wind increases ahead of the front here by tomorrow morning. That front comes through here on Tuesday. Kind of see a little bit of a northwest wind pick up there Tuesday evening with that front. But then the winds really weaken again from Monday as that high pressure builds in. But then right ahead of that strong front on Thursday, see those south winds start to increase. And so that'll warm us up a little bit for Thursday. But then there's a sharp front that comes through here Thursday afternoon. And you start getting those northwest winds gusting up maybe close to 30 knots. And then you see another area here where the winds pick up Friday night into Saturday. And even into Saturday almost around lunchtime. And then the winds start to decrease after that. It looks like a little bit. So going to see a pretty good surge, almost like a 1-2 shot here as you look at the winds here on Thursday, then again on Friday into Saturday. So it's going to be pretty breezy out there on the water for quite some time. And so that's why I think we're going to see a prolonged period of small craft advisories, I'd say from Thursday, I'd say early afternoon, all the way through probably a good bit of Saturday as far as that goes. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I'll go ahead and stop the recording.